Few modifications. I increased the index finger choil, rounded it out, fully rounded spine, so now a decent choked up grip. Checkered the handle, give it a bit of traction. Sharpen the edge, reduce the edge angle. Didn't go as far as put a primary relief grind on it. Just want to see the difference that the slightly reduced edge angle and actual sharpness makes. So here's the pallet wrapping. Struggled with last time. So you can see a huge difference. So should be obvious. Dramatic difference in cutting ability. Now the only problem is the edge holding of these machetes is horrible when you first sharpen them, because they're almost always heavily overheated. So it takes a bit of sharpenings to get rid of that initial damaged metal. Again, much better. But you can still see a lot of heavy fracture, and that's because the edge angle is still relatively high and there's no relief. So it's still got much more of a splitting profile than an actual chopping one. And the edge retention is absolutely horrible. The edge is starting to buckle right away, and you can see it's very few chops. But again, it takes a while to get the decent metal on this blade. Now this is the actual same piece of wood that I butchered in the last video. So, much more dramatic penetration. I'm down about halfway more, and before I was getting about ½ inch of penetration. So easily opens up the wood. So you can see dramatic difference from last time. So you can see the surface of the wood is actually being cut now. So even a little amount of work, just cleaning up the edge, dropping the edge angle a few degrees, makes this now into a decent tool. Like, I'd easily use this on this size of wood. I mean, it's still not competitive with larger blades that actually have primary grinds, but I mean, now it's at the point where it's not frustrating. You don't hear that horrible pinging sound. There's not bouncing out of the wood anymore. You're not getting this horrible brunt shock as it bangs into the wood. You're getting nice smooth penetration. Now, it is binding a lot. There's really not much you can do about that because it's just so thin blade stock. Again, I'm going to lay a primary grind on top of this and thin it out a bit, and that'll help with the transitions. But I mean, it's never going to be something like Dan's blade, which has much thicker stock and a bit of a taper. So, completely trivial now. and it's so close to the 1 cut that with a little work on the primary grind should be easily possible. And on some of the weaker sections it'll just break it like that anyway. So now if we go back to our springier wood, you can see we don't need to swing nearly as fast and we get nice clean cuts now. So now we can swing it at a more relaxed pace and still easily make the cuts, and the cuts are becoming nice and clean, no large fractures, and of course you can see you no longer need extreme speed because the blade is decently sharp now. Single piece of grass.